Commander Lisa Wright stood at the observation deck of the Earthship Horizon, watching the stars. Today was the day humanity would officially meet aliens for the first time. After decades of searching the skies, sending signals into space, and hoping for a response, an advanced alien race called the Zorthak had answered. They were coming to Earth, and Lisa's ship was sent to greet them. "Commander, they're approaching," said Officer Pete Garcia, looking down at his screen. "Their ship is enormous." Lisa nodded and took a deep breath. As the head of security for this historic meeting, her job was to make sure everything went smoothly. She had trained her whole life for dangerous situations, but nothing could prepare humanity for this moment. The Zorthak ship appeared in the distance. It was at least 5 times larger than the horizon and shaped like a giant arrowhead. Its surface gleamed with a blue-green metal unknown to Earth science. "Open communication. Channel," Lisa ordered, straightening her uniform. The main screen flickered to life, showing the alien commander. The Zorthak was tall and reptilian, with scales that shimmered like oil on water. 4 yellow eyes blinked independently as the creature studied the humans. "I am Krelzar, High Commander of the Zorthak Exploration Fleet," the alien said through a translation device. "We come in peace to establish relations with your developing species." Lisa didn't miss the slight pause. "Welcome, High Commander. I'm Commander Lisa Wright of the United Earth Navy. We're honored to make first contact with your people." Krelzar's mouth twisted in what might have been a smile. "The honor is ours, to welcome another intelligent species to the galactic community, even one so newly emerged." Again that pause, and that. Lisa exchanged glances with Jack Martinez, Earth's lead diplomat, who stood beside her. His expression remained professional, but she could tell he noticed it too. The meeting was set for Earth's new space station, positioned in orbit between Earth and the Moon. As the Zorthak delegation boarded, Lisa watched them closely. 6 aliens in total, each standing nearly 7 feet tall, moved with a fluid grace that suggested their muscles were stronger than they appeared. "Welcome to Harmony Station," Jack said, extending his hand in greeting. Krelzar looked at the offered hand with what seemed like amusement before lightly touching it with scaled fingers. "Your artificial habitat is quaint. We have observed your civilization for some time. Your technological development is impressively rapid for such a delicate species." Lisa felt her jaw tighten, but kept her face neutral. The meeting continued, in the station's conference room, where Earth officials had gathered to greet the visitors. Scientists, political leaders, and military personnel sat around a large table, trying not to stare at the aliens. "Tell us about your world," prompted Dr. Olivia Brown, Earth's leading xenobiologist. "Zorthak Prime is a paradise by your standard," replied one of the aliens who had been introduced as their science officer. "Our gravity is 1.3 times that of Earth. Our atmosphere richer in oxygen. Our planet's harsh conditions have made us strong. Your world seems very gentle." Throughout the day, Lisa noticed a pattern. Every comment from the Zorthak contained a hint of superiority. When shown Earth's technology, they nodded politely, but with clear amusement. When offered Earth food, they declined, explaining their biology was far too advanced for such simple nutrients. The final insult came during the cultural exchange. Jack had prepared videos showcasing Earth's natural wonders and wildlife. When footage of a lion taking down a zebra played, the aliens exchanged looks. "That is your apex predator?" asked Krelzar, pointing to the lion. "One of them," Jack replied. "We have various predators across different environments. Sharks in our oceans, wolves in our forests, bears in our mountains." The aliens made a sound that their translators didn't catch, but Lisa recognized it anyway. Laughter. "Show them the Zervash," Krelzar said to his science officer. The alien tapped at a device on his wrist, projecting a hologram into the center of the room. The creature displayed was like nothing Lisa had ever seen. 6-legged with a body similar to a giant panther, but covered in purple-black scales, 4 eyes positioned for perfect vision, and a mouth filled with teeth that seemed to move independently. "This is a juvenile Zervash," explained the science officer. "The apex predator of our world. They hunt in packs, can track prey across continents, and possess a neurotoxin that can kill within seconds. The room fell silent as the humans stared at the hologram. No wonder your species seems so cautious, Krelzar said. You've never needed to evolve beyond your current state. Your world's dangers are minimal compared to ours. Later, as the diplomatic team gathered privately to discuss the day's events, Lisa couldn't hold back her frustration. They're treating us like children, she said. Did you notice how they keep pausing before saying something dismissive? Jack nodded. They see us as primitive. It's clear in every interaction. But they're willing to trade, pointed out Andrea Kim, the Commerce Secretary. They've offered to share some of their technology in exchange for cultural artifacts, art, music. Because they don't see us as a threat, Lisa replied. They think we're amusing pets. Dr. Brown had been quiet, reviewing her notes from the meeting. There might be an advantage to being underestimated, she said finally. They've invited a scientific team to visit their homeworld. They're so confident in their superiority that they're willing to show us everything. I want to be on that team, Lisa said immediately. Already arranged, Jack told her. You'll lead security for the expedition. Dr. Brown will head the scientific research. 3 months later, as Lisa packed for the journey to Zorthak Prime, she couldn't shake the feeling that this mission would change everything. The aliens had laughed at humanity, viewing Earth's people as soft creatures from a gentle world. But Lisa knew human history. Humans had survived and thrived not because their world was easy, but because they were adaptable. As she zipped up her bag, she thought about those alien predators, the Zervash. On Earth, humans had domesticated wolves into dogs, turning fierce predators into loyal companions over thousands of years. What might humans learn from the predators of another world? Let them laugh, she said to herself. They don't know us yet. The Earth ship prepared for departure, carrying 20 humans toward an alien world. None of them could have guessed how this journey would transform humanity's place in the galaxy, or how the creatures that the Zorthak used to intimidate them would become the key to earning their respect. The journey to Zorthak Prime took 3 weeks in the alien ship. Commander Lisa Wright spent most of that time studying everything she could about the Zorthak, their culture, their biology, and especially their planet. She wanted no surprises. When they arrived, "You should see this," said Dr. Olivia Brown, entering Lisa's small cabin with a tablet. "I've been analyzing the data they shared about their world." Lisa looked up from her own work. "Find something interesting?" "Their planet has higher gravity than ours, like they said. But look at these atmospheric readings." Olivia handed over the tablet. "Their air has more oxygen, but also contains spores and pollens that could be dangerous to humans. We'll need daily medication to stay healthy there." Lisa nodded. "They're making sure we know how tough their world is compared to Earth." "That's not all," Olivia continued. "I've been reviewing the biological data on their predators. The Zervash they showed us? Its neural structure has some surprising similarities to certain Earth mammals." Before Lisa could ask more questions, the ship's communication system activated. "We approach Zorthak Prime," announced their alien pilot. "Prepare for landing procedures." The human team gathered at the viewing windows as the ship entered the atmosphere of the alien world. Below them spread a landscape of deep red deserts and dark green jungles. Massive mountains pushed up through the surface like broken bones. "Beautiful," whispered Sam Kelly, the team's security specialist, in a harsh sort of way. The ship landed at a sprawling spaceport outside the Zorthak capital city. As the humans exited, the gravity immediately made itself felt. Lisa's body felt heavier, her movements requiring more effort. The air smelled strange, like cinnamon mixed with metal. Krelzar waited for them with a delegation of officials. "Welcome to our homeworld," he said. "I trust you will find your stay educational. We have prepared special accommodations adjusted for your species' needs." The humans were taken to a compound designed for them. The gravity inside was adjusted to Earth normal, and the air was filtered. While comfortable, Lisa couldn't help noticing that the building resembled a mix between a laboratory and a zoo exhibit. "They're studying us," she told her team that evening. Remember that everything we do is being observed and likely recorded. The next morning, the Zorthak took them on a tour of their capital city. The architecture was impressive, soaring towers of the same blue-green metal as their ships. The aliens moved with confidence through streets where the gravity was much stronger than what the humans were experiencing in their compound. "This building houses our scientific academy," said their guide, pointing to a massive structure. "It has stood for over 3,000 years. How old is your oldest human structure?" "The pyramids in Egypt are about 5,000 years old," replied Dr. Brown casually. The guide paused, clearly surprised by this information, before quickly moving on to the next location. In the afternoon, they were taken to what the Zorthak called their Biological Preservation Center, essentially a combination of zoo, research facility, and nature preserve. Here the aliens kept examples of wildlife from across their planet and specimens from other worlds they had visited. "And this," said Krelzar with obvious pride as they entered a large secure area, "is our Zervash habitat." Behind a clear force field roamed several of the creatures they had seen in the hologram. In person, they were even more intimidating. Each was the size of a small car, with powerful muscles moving beneath iridescent purple-black scales. Their 6 legs ended in claws that looked sharp enough to cut metal. Their 4 eyes, 2 large ones in front, 2 smaller ones on the sides of their head, constantly scanned their surroundings. "The Zervash is our world's perfect hunter," Krelzar explained. "They can track prey across hundreds of miles, blend into almost any environment, and their bite delivers a neurotoxin that can kill in seconds." One of the creatures approached the barrier, studying the humans with obvious intelligence in its eyes. "How do you handle them?" asked Lisa. "For research or transport?" "Very carefully," replied a Zorthak scientist who had joined them. "Only our most skilled handlers can work with them, and even then, only with neural implants that help control the beasts. Wild Zervash would never submit to any control." Lisa watched as the creature at the barrier tilted its head, still watching her. There was something in its gaze that reminded her of the big cats back on Earth. Predatory, yes, but also curious. "Can we see your handling procedures?" asked Dr. Brown, "for scientific comparison to how we work with dangerous animals on Earth." The Zorthak exchanged glances before the scientist nodded. "It would be educational for you." They were taken to a training area where a Zorthak handler wearing an elaborate headpiece approached a juvenile Zervash in a controlled environment. The handler touched controls on his wrist device, and the headpiece glowed. The creature growled but submitted to basic commands. "The neural interface bypasses their natural aggression," explained the scientist. "Without technology, no intelligent species could safely interact with such perfect predators." That evening, back in their compound, the human team compared notes on what they had seen. "Did you notice how the juveniles behaved differently than the adults?" asked Dr. Brown. "They showed signs of play behavior similar to Earth predator young." Sam Kelly nodded. "I also noticed their pack structure. The adults seemed to have a hierarchy with clear communication between them." Lisa had been quiet, thinking about the look in the Zervash's eyes. "Dr. Brown, you mentioned neural similarities to Earth mammals. Which ones specifically?" "Several, actually," Olivia replied, pulling up data on her tablet. "Their brain structure has elements similar to our wolves, big cats, and surprisingly, dolphins, all highly intelligent social predators from Earth." "Social predators," Lisa repeated thoughtfully. "Krelzar called them the perfect hunters, but what if there's more to them than just being killing machines?" "What are you thinking, Commander?" asked Sam. Lisa looked at her team. "The Zorthak see these creatures as weapons or tools to be controlled with technology, but on Earth we have a different history with predators, don't we? We didn't always try to control them through force or technology." Dr. Brown's eyes widened as she understood. "We formed partnerships with them. Dogs, horses, falcons." "Exactly," said Lisa. "The Zorthak think we're weak because Earth's predators aren't as dangerous as theirs. But maybe our weakness gave us a different kind of strength, the ability to connect with other species rather than just dominate them." She looked at the data on Dr. Brown's tablet. I want you to get as much information as you can about the Zervash. Their biology, psychology, social structures, everything. And I want samples to take back to Earth. What are you planning? Asked Sam. Lisa smiled. I'm planning to show the Zorthak that there's more than one way to deal with apex predators. And maybe, just maybe, the humans they've been laughing at have skills they never imagined. 6 months after returning from Zorthak Prime, Lisa Wright stood in a secure underground facility in Colorado. She had been promoted to admiral for her work on the First Contact mission. Now she watched through a reinforced window as Dr. Olivia Brown worked in a large, climate-controlled room designed to match the conditions of the alien planet. How is our guest doing today? Lisa asked, her eyes fixed on the juvenile Zervash in the enclosure. Getting more comfortable, Olivia replied. This one is the most promising of the 4 specimens we were allowed to bring back for study purposes. The Zorthak had been surprisingly willing to let the humans take 4 juvenile Zervash back to Earth. They seemed amused by the idea of humans studying creatures they considered too dangerous for any species without advanced control technology. Little do they know, Lisa murmured. Project Companion, as they called it, was a top-secret initiative known only to a handful of government officials. Its goal was simple but ambitious, to establish a bond with the Zervash, similar to how ancient humans had domesticated wolves thousands of years ago. Kevin is ready for the next step, Olivia said, nodding toward a man waiting at the entrance to the enclosure. Kevin Rogers had been selected from hundreds of animal trainers, behaviorists, and military handlers. He had worked with everything, from wolves to killer whales. For 3 months he had been observing the Zervash, getting it used to his scent and presence from a distance. Are we sure about this? Asked General Howard, who had joined Lisa at the window. The Zorthak said these creatures can't be handled without neural implants. The Zorthak don't know everything, Lisa replied. Dr. Brown's research suggests the Zervash are more like Earth's social predators than the aliens realize. They're not just killing machines. Inside the enclosure, Kevin entered slowly. He carried no weapons or technology, just small treats made from a protein formula that Dr. Brown had developed based on the creature's native diet. The juvenile Zervash, about the size of a lion cub but already dangerous with its claws and teeth, watched Kevin with all 4 eyes. Kevin moved with calm confidence, never making direct eye contact for too long. He made a soft clicking sound with his tongue, a noise they had discovered the Zervash used to communicate with their young. The creature tilted its head, curious. Its purple-black scales shimmered under the lights. That's it, Kevin said softly, kneeling 15 feet away from the predator. No one's going to hurt you here. He placed a treat on the ground and slid it forward before backing up several steps. The Zervash approached cautiously, sniffed the treat, and consumed it quickly. This routine continued for 20 minutes. Each time, Kevin placed the treat a little closer to himself. By the end of the session, the Zervash was taking food just 5 feet away from the human. Remarkable progress, murmured Dr. Brown, taking notes. This is twice as fast as our projections. 1 month later, the results were even more impressive. Kevin now sat in the enclosure while the juvenile Zervash, which he had named Scout, rested just a few feet away. He could touch the creature briefly on its scaled head, and it would follow basic commands like come and stay. It's not about dominating them, Kevin explained during a briefing with military officials. That's where the Zorthak went wrong. They try to override the Zervash's natural instincts with technology. We're working with those instincts instead. Dr. Brown expanded on this point. The Zervash are pack hunters. They naturally form social bonds. The Zorthak evolved from solitary predators, so they don't understand this approach. They see only control or be killed. The program expanded. More handlers were recruited and paired with the other juvenile specimens. The training methods were refined, combining techniques used with wolves, big cats, and highly intelligent animals like dolphins. The key is trust, Kevin told the new handlers. They need to see us as part of their pack, not as prey or enemies. By the 1-year mark, the progress was undeniable. Scout, now half-grown, responded to over 30 verbal commands. He allowed Kevin to examine his teeth, claws, and even take blood samples. More impressively, he showed protective behavior toward his human partner. This was demonstrated dramatically during a controlled test. When another person pretended to attack Kevin, Scout responded by positioning himself between Kevin and the attacker, displaying warning behaviors without actually causing harm. "He's holding back," Lisa observed with amazement. "He could kill that person in seconds, but he's just warning them." Intelligence and restraint, Dr. Brown agreed, qualities the Zorthak never bothered to nurture because they were too busy trying to control them through force. The Zorthak Human Cultural Exchange Program was now in full swing. The aliens continued to trade technology for human art and culture, still treating humans as an amusing but primitive species. They occasionally inquired about the Zervash specimens, clearly expecting that the humans had simply put them in a zoo for study. "Let them think that," Lisa told her team. "The less they know, the better." 1 year and 3 months after bringing the Zervash to Earth, Lisa received a message from the president. The Zorthak had invited Earth to send representatives to the annual Galactic Coalition Summit, a gathering of spacefaring civilizations. It would be humanity's first introduction to the wider galactic community. "This is our opportunity," Lisa told Dr. Brown and the Project Companion team. "The Zorthak and other alien species still see us as the galaxy's new kids, cute but helpless. I think it's time we change that perception." She looked through the window where Kevin and Scout were running through an advanced training exercise. The Zervash, now the size of a small horse, moved with incredible speed and precision, responding to the slightest hand signals. "Are the handlers and their partners ready for a public appearance?" Lisa asked. Dr. Brown smiled. "More than ready. The bonds they've formed are stronger than anything the Zorthak could achieve with their technology. But are you sure you want to reveal this now? It will change everything." "That's exactly what I want," Lisa replied. "Humanity needs to establish itself as more than just the new species on the block. We need respect." She watched as Scout gently bumped his head against Kevin's hand, seeking approval after completing a complex task. "Send word to all the handlers," Lisa said. "They're going to the summit as Earth's official security detail. It's time to show the galaxy what humans can do." Dr. Brown nodded, understanding the significance of this decision. "The Zorthak won't know what hit them?" "No," agreed Lisa with a smile. "They won't. They laughed at us for being from a world with weak predators. Let's see how they react when we show up with their apex predators as our companions instead of our masters." The massive space station orbiting Zorthak Prime gleamed in the light of the alien sun. Built by the Zorthak centuries ago, it served as the meeting place for the Galactic Coalition, a group of 17 spacefaring civilizations. Today, it would host Earth's official introduction to the galactic community. Inside her quarters on the Earth vessel Unity, Admiral Lisa Wright adjusted her formal uniform. Earth's delegation consisted of 20 people: diplomats, scientists, cultural ambassadors, and most importantly, 6 handlers with their Zervash companions. The handlers and their predator partners had been training intensively for this moment. "Are you ready?" Lisa asked Kevin Rogers, who stood nearby with Scout. The Zervash was now fully grown, standing as tall as Kevin's chest on his 6 powerful legs. His purple-black scales had developed a beautiful iridescent quality that shifted colors in the light. A specially designed collar, more for identification than control, bore the Earth emblem. "As ready as we'll ever be," Kevin replied, stroking Scout's scaled head. The creature leaned into the touch, his 4 eyes half closed in contentment. "Remember, this isn't just a demonstration," Lisa said to all the handlers. "This is Earth making a statement to the galaxy. The Zorthak and the other species need to see that humanity isn't just some amusing curiosity." Diane Powell, another handler, nodded as she checked her partner Artemis's collar. "They're going to be shocked. The Zorthak ambassador who visited last month still has no idea what we've accomplished." The Zorthak had indeed sent an ambassador to Earth recently, but Project Companion had remained hidden. The aliens still believed humans were merely studying the specimens in secure containment. "Let's move out," Lisa ordered. Standard formation. The Earth delegation made their way to the docking bay. As planned, the handlers and their Zervash companions were positioned in the middle of the group, partially hidden from immediate view. When the airlock opened onto the Zorthak space station, High Ambassador Krelzar was waiting with representatives from various alien species. His eyes widened at the sight of the Zervash walking calmly among the humans. "What is the meaning of this?" he demanded, his translator barely keeping up with his rapid speech. "Those creatures are dangerous apex predators. Where are your control devices?" Lisa stepped forward with a polite smile. "High Ambassador, thank you for welcoming Earth to the Galactic Coalition. As for the Zervash, they are part of our security detail, and we don't need control devices." To demonstrate, Kevin made a small hand gesture. Scout immediately sat, perfectly still, despite the strange surroundings and alien scents. The assembled aliens murmured in shock. Representatives from other species moved closer, fascinated and alarmed. "Impossible," said a Zorthak scientist who had rushed forward to observe. "The neural pathways of a Zervash require technological override for even basic command compliance." "Diane," Powell smiled. "Not if you work with them rather than trying to dominate them." Artemis Greet. Her Zervash stepped forward and bowed her head in a respectful gesture they had taught her. "How long have you been hiding this capability?" Krelzar asked, his voice tense. "We haven't been hiding anything," Lisa replied calmly. "You assumed that because our world's predators weren't as dangerous as yours, we couldn't handle the Zervash. You never asked if we had other approaches." The delegation proceeded to the Great Assembly Hall. The human handlers and their Zervash companions drew stares from every alien species present. Some showed fear, others curiosity, but all showed respect, something that had been missing in previous interactions. During the formal introduction ceremony, Earth was presented to the Galactic Coalition. Jack Martinez, now Earth's ambassador, spoke of humanity's desire for peaceful cooperation and cultural exchange. Throughout his speech, the Zervash sat attentively beside their handlers, occasionally scanning the room with alert eyes but remaining calm. "A remarkable achievement," commented a delegate from a species called the Navorians, tall, blue-skinned humanoids with 4 arms. "We have observed the Zorthak struggle to control these creatures for centuries, yet you have formed bonds with them in just 2 of your Earth years. Humans have a long history of partnership with predator species," Dr. Brown explained. "We see value in cooperation rather than just control." The summit was proceeding smoothly until alarms suddenly blared throughout the station. The lighting switched to emergency mode, and security announcements echoed in multiple languages. "Station security has been compromised," a Zorthak officer announced. "All delegates move to secure locations. Our systems are being overridden." Before anyone could react, the large doors to the assembly hall slammed shut and locked. Armed figures in environment suits burst in from service entrances, raiders from a non-coalition species known for attacking diplomatic gatherings. "Nobody. Move," shouted their leader. "This station is now under our control. All communication and defense systems have been disabled." The Zorthak security forces reached for their weapons, only to find them non-functional. The raiders had deployed technology that disabled the standard energy weapons used by most coalition species. Lisa exchanged quick glances with her handlers. They had anticipated potential security threats and had prepared for this possibility. "Handlers, protection protocol," she called out clearly. Without hesitation, all 6 handlers issued a series of hand signals and vocal commands. The Zervash immediately moved into a defensive formation around the Earth delegation and nearby alien diplomats. "Call off your beasts or we'll be forced to eliminate them," the raider leader threatened, raising a primitive projectile weapon that wasn't affected by their disabling technology. Kevin remained calm. "Scout, defensive position 3. Scout moved, with incredible speed, positioning himself between Kevin and the armed raider. The other Zervash did the same, creating a protective barrier around the delegates. When one raider fired at Diane, her Zervash, Artemis, leaped 20 feet through the air in a blur of motion. She knocked the weapon away without using her claws or teeth. a restraint that shocked the watching Zorthak even more than the attack itself. What followed was a coordinated defense unlike anything the coalition species had witnessed. The Zervash moved with precision, disarming raiders without killing them, protecting delegates from multiple species, and responding instantly to quiet commands from their handlers. Within minutes, the raiders were subdued. The Zervash had successfully neutralized the threat without a single casualty, something even the Zorthak struggled to achieve with their most advanced technology. As station security was restored and the raiders taken into custody, Krelzar approached Lisa slowly, his eyes moving between her and the Zervash who had returned to their handlers' sides. "In all my years," he said slowly, "I have never seen Zervash show such restraint, such intelligence in action. They could have killed those raiders easily." "That wouldn't have served our purpose," Lisa replied. "We've trained them to protect, not just to attack. The true measure of power isn't how much damage you can do. It's how much you can control your strength when needed." Krelzar was silent for a moment before offering a gesture that Dr. Brown recognized as a sign of deep respect in Zorthak culture. "It seems," he said finally, "that we have much to learn from humanity. Perhaps Earth's gentle environment produced something we did not expect. A species that understands strength is not just about dominance." Lisa smiled. "We would be happy to share our methods. After all, that's what the coalition is about, isn't it? Each species contributing their unique perspectives." As delegates from other worlds gathered around, eager to learn about the human-Zervash bond, Lisa knew that humanity had finally found its place in the galactic community. Not through superior technology or military might, but through their unique ability to connect with the very creatures the Zorthak feared most. 5 years passed since the dramatic events at the Galactic Coalition Summit. Humanity's position in the galactic community had changed completely. No longer viewed as amusing newcomers, humans were now respected for their unique abilities and approach to interspecies relationships. Lisa Wright, now Ambassador Wright, stood on a viewing platform overlooking the sprawling campus of the Interspecies Cooperation Institute in Geneva. The institute had become Earth's most prestigious center for research and training. Below her, humans and aliens from 12 different worlds worked together, studying and learning from each other. "Quite a view, isn't it?" said Dr. Olivia Brown, joining her at the railing. Though older now, with streaks of gray in her hair, her eyes still held the same excitement for discovery. "Sometimes I can hardly believe how far we've come," Lisa replied. "Remember when the Zorthak thought we were just cute little primitives?" Both women smiled at the memory. The days of being looked down upon were long gone. In the large training field below, Kevin Rogers was demonstrating advanced communication techniques with Scout. The Zervash had reached full maturity, standing as tall as a horse with scales that now shimmered with deep blue highlights among the purple-black. Around them sat a class of 30 students, a mix of humans and young Zorthak. "The younger generation of Zorthak have really embraced our methods," Olivia observed. "Their elders are still skeptical, but they can't argue with the results." Indeed, the success of the human Zervash handler program had inspired a complete rethinking of how intelligent species could interact with predators. The Zorthak, after centuries of using neural technology to force compliance, were learning that cooperation could achieve far more impressive results. "Ambassador Wright," called a voice from behind them. Lisa turned to see a Zorthak approaching. None, other than Krelzar himself, now the High Minister of Interspecies Relations. "High Minister," Lisa greeted him warmly. "I didn't expect you until tomorrow's ceremony." "I arrived early to observe the training programs," Krelzar explained. "My own grandson is among the students today. This was something no one would have predicted 5 years ago. Zorthak families sending their young to learn from humans. Yet here they were, the reptilian youngsters sitting side by side with human students, all of them watching with rapt attention as Kevin demonstrated how to interpret a Zervash's subtle body language. "It's still difficult for many of my people to accept," Krelzar admitted as they watched. "For thousands of years we saw the Zervash only as dangerous beasts to be controlled through technology. The idea of forming emotional bonds with them seemed primitive. Sometimes the oldest approaches are the most effective, Lisa replied diplomatically. Down on the training field, Kevin had invited a young Zorthak student to approach Scout. The alien youth moved forward cautiously, clearly nervous despite Scout's calm demeanor. Kevin guided the student's movements, showing how to offer a hand for Scout to smell. When the Zervash gently bumped his head against the Zorthak's hand, the student's face showed an expression of wonder that needed no translation. "See that?" Olivia said quietly. "That's what this is all about. Not just teaching techniques, but changing how species see each other." The Institute wasn't just teaching handling methods. It had expanded to include research into the biology and psychology of various species, cultural exchange programs, and diplomatic training. Most importantly, it served as a place where prejudices and assumptions could be challenged. Later that day, Lisa visited the advanced training arena where Diane Powell was working with 3 Zervash simultaneously. The Predators moved through a complex search and rescue simulation, using their superior senses to locate hidden victims in a mock disaster area. "They're performing at 97% efficiency," reported the Navorian scientist monitoring the exercise. "Even our best search drones only manage 82% in similar conditions." "It's not just about efficiency," Diane explained as her partners completed the exercise. "It's about judgment and adaptability. A drone follows programming. A Zervash can make decisions based on changing conditions." This was the true breakthrough that had earned humanity its place in the galactic community. While other species relied primarily on technology, humans excelled at forming connections, not just with other intelligent species but with creatures previously thought untamable. The next morning, dignitaries from across the galaxy gathered for the official ceremony opening the new wing of the Institute. The outdoor amphitheater was filled with representatives from all 17 coalition species, plus observers from several non-member worlds. Lisa gave a short welcome speech, but the real demonstration came from the handlers and their Zervash partners. Working together, they performed a series of exercises that showcased not just obedience but true cooperation between species. The Zervash didn't just follow commands. They anticipated needs, solved problems independently, and communicated back to their handlers through an elaborate system of sounds and movements. "Remarkable," murmured a delegate from a newly discovered species that was considering joining the coalition. "On our world, we would never have thought to approach predators this way." "That's the human contribution to the galaxy," Krelzar explained to the newcomer. "They showed us that intelligence isn't just about technology or physical strength. Sometimes it's about understanding other species on a deeper level." As the ceremony concluded, Lisa noticed a young Zorthak child approaching Kevin and Scout. With a mixture of fear and fascination, the child's parent watched nervously from a short distance away. Can I touch him?" the child asked hesitantly. Kevin smiled and knelt down. "Scout, gentle greet." The massive predator lowered himself to the ground, making himself less intimidating, and slowly extended his head toward the child. The young Zorthak reached out with a trembling hand and lightly touched Scout's scales. The Zervash rumbled, with a sound that handlers had learned meant contentment. "He likes you," Kevin said. The child's face lit up with joy. "Can I learn to be like you? To talk to the Zervash?" "That's why we built this place," Kevin replied, looking up at the child's parent who had moved closer. "So everyone can learn." Later in her office overlooking Lake Geneva, Lisa received a message from a joint human Zorthak colony on a frontier world. The image showed children from both species playing under the watchful eyes of a Zervash companion. 5 years ago, they laughed at us for being from a soft world with weak predators, Lisa said to Olivia as they looked at the image. "Now they're sending their children to learn from us. Because we showed them something they never expected," Olivia replied. "That true strength isn't about dominating through fear or technology. It's about understanding, connection, and trust." As night fell over the Institute, Scout and Kevin walked the grounds together. In the starlight, human and Zervash moved as partners, 2 species from different worlds who had found common ground. Around them, the legacy of their unlikely friendship, was transforming a galaxy that had once laughed at humanity into one that now looked to Earth for wisdom.